And welcome back to Good Things Utah, everybody. Such an important topic now, child abuse and how much this is going on in our state, how to talk to your kids about it, and definitely how to be informed. We have two guests, Yoshi Shikari, which you're just looking through his book that's been out. Such a great stopping off point for you and your kids. My Body's Just for Me. We also have Suzanne Mitchell joining us. She's from the Children's Justice Center. Thank you both.
Thank you.
For being here. You have something that you brought that's important for our viewers to know about. Yoshi, what is that?
Yes, so basically what I did before I came on to the show is I went on to familywatchdog.us. I typed in Holiday, Utah. This is like Mill Creek Holiday, Sugar House, Taylorsville, West Valley City, kind of all the way out to Magna. Every red dot represents a registered sex offender. So you can see the
it's
map.
Peppered. It's peppered through the map.
It's obviously a problem, which is why I wanted to address that it's a problem so that people can go into this website, put in their personal address, and they can see if there are any registered sex offenders within their neighborhood.
Yoshi, if you live in that area, I mean, that information is scary, right? What do you do from there? What do you do once you see that?
Yeah, so, you want to start educating your children. You want to be aware if your children are playing at the child of possibly a registered sex offender. You might want to change the play dates to your house instead. I think it's good to be aware of what's going on in your neighborhood so that you can keep your kids safe.
Absolutely. So Suzanne Mitchell is here from the head of the Salt Lake County Children's Justice Center, and there's some staggering statistics about child abuse.
Well, it's remarkable that there's over 30,000 reports of abuse in Utah every year. And we have 22 children's justice centers across the state that help children so that they don't have to be afraid and suffer in silence when they've been a victim of child sexual abuse. There are caring people that can help you, and you can recover from this. You can get hope, healing, and justice.
Suzanne, are strangers typically responsible for this abuse?
That's what the public thinks, but that's actually not the case. Strangers are only 2% of the offenders. It's someone who's known to the child and who has access to them, and that makes sense because that's who you're interacting with on a daily basis.
We're talking about 1 in every 4 girls and 1 in every 6 boys will be a victim of sexual abuse by the time they're 18 years old. Now, Yoshi, you wrote this book. What inspired you to do this?
So, my sister had her first child, Delaney, about 13 years ago, and so my mother wanted to educate Delaney on the prevention of sexual abuse. So she'd actually sent me to Barnes & Nobles to buy a book like this. Back then, 13 years ago, there was no such thing as a book.
Couldn't find it.
Yeah, couldn't find it. So we just wrote it. My wife actually did the illustrations, and then we stapled it. It was like we printed it on printing paper. Then all of my mother's friends, was telling my mother, this needs to be more than just Delaney, so we seeked out the help of Richard Paul Evans, who helped us get it published.
Yoshi, what age is this book for?
This is an icebreaker for, that 3-year-old child and up.
And that's okay at 3 to talk to your kids about this. In fact, you should have a conversation. Suzanne, how often do kids keep this a secret? They're not talking about it.
Well, the younger they are, the less likely they know that they've even been a victim. Sometimes they don't have a context for it, so they're confused and bewildered. Sometimes they blame themselves, but research shows that kids really start catching on by about the age of 10, and that's usually when we start to get more reports of child abuse coming forward.
And if we do find out that there are, situations like that going on, who do we call? What do we do if we find out there's a child we know that's been a victim?
We encourage everyone to call the Child Abuse Hotline, which is 24 hours, and you can just Google it, Utah Child Abuse Hotline. But we also encourage people to call their local law enforcement agency because child abuse is a crime. And actually, we need to protect the entire community and make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else.
So a couple websites our viewers need to know about, cjc.slc.org. That's the Children's Justice Center website. Also, protectourangels.com. They're both right there on your screen. Yoshi, where do you get the book?
You can actually get it on protectourangels.com. You can get it on Amazon as well.
And I highly recommend you guys, just reading through this, it makes it so clear and it's so well written and easy for kids to understand.
And for the map printout, that is familywatchdog.us.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. All right, you guys, we're going to toss it out to Reagan. It's going to get cold.